Hi, I'm Abby. I have a lot of records, including this one. This is Bill's box of sound.
Why, yeah, it is Bill's Box of Sound, and I'm Bill. And that was Abby. Thank you for doing that little intro. And you can watch Abigail DeVoe on her channel, where almost every Monday she does a thing called Vinyl Monday, where she takes a classic album and gives a review of it that you've never seen the likes of before. She does a fantastic job, fully extended, fully blown reviews of classic rock and roll and related albums. And if you're not watching them already, I would recommend checking it out. Now, thanks for coming back if this is not your first time here. But if this is your first time here, welcome to Bill's Box of Sound, and I am Bill. Today's video is about ultrasonic record cleaning and two different ways to do it. Now, one is the Humminguru machine, and the other is the Vevor ultrasonic record cleaning system, which you can get at a considerable discount, as the folks at Vivor have provided us with a special discount link that you'll find in the description notes below. Now, if you're familiar with my channel for the last few years, the first thing that you notice is that I do a lot of stuff about Frank Zappa music, but if you continue to watch my channel, you may be familiar with my videos about record cleaning. I've done like 3 major record cleaning videos within the past 10-15 years, and they're among the most popular videos on my channel. The first one I did was about the Spin Clean record cleaner, which is still widely available, and a very good price-effective way of wet cleaning your records, especially when people go to swap meets, garage sales, Goodwill stores, and they buy records that are used and have a lot of dirt on them. So you got to clean those things by washing them. The Spin Clean is an easy way to get the dirt off of them and make the records playable and enjoyable for a low price. And at less than $100, the Spin Clean is a very easy investment. And I still recommend it to people who are just starting out with record cleaning. Then I did a couple of videos like in 2017 and 2020 about more intensive record cleaning practices. There were a lot of people that were complaining because I used a fingernail brush to spread the fluid along a record. Mind you, a very dirty record that was very deeply embedded with dirt to spread my usually homegrown record cleaning formulas on. And then in 2020, I did Record Cleaning Madness and talked about using a vacuum device such as a Nitty Gritty, a Record Doctor, the Project Cleaner, or even a Vinyl Vac for those of you do-it-yourselfers. And yes, I have finally ditched the fingernail brush. I don't even have it here to show you right now because I use this Disc Doctor brush. It's very similar to the Mobile Fidelity brush, which is this thing here. And the Disc Doctor one is a bit more durable. And basically, the best practice is when you're cleaning a record, you first use a dry brush to get the dust off of the record, then use a combination of a wet solution and a brush like this that will get the liquid into those grooves to loosen the dirt. Then we need an effective way to remove that fluid, that liquid, and make the records playable. Now, this process makes my records very clean and they sound great. But then, back then when I was making those videos, a lot of noise was starting to be made about those newfangled ultrasonic cleaners. And I've had those friends that were buying those ultrasonic tanks from industrial companies and retrofitting these devices using things made by 3D printers to make different attachments to go on there and make this monstrosity to put records inside of a tank to clean the records. And I kind of poo-pooed that idea because either they were ridiculously expensive or they resembled a Rube Goldberg machine. It just didn't make any sense to me at the time. But I eventually found out that ultrasonic cleaners are extremely good at getting little tiny bits of dirt out of extremely small places. And where are these extremely little small tiny spaces? Well, in the tiny grooves of a phonograph record. So, investigating these machines Back then, any all-in-one solution machine cost around $4,000. Eventually, the price came down to about $2,000, still way too rich for my blood. Then, more people were popping up and selling their retrofit kits for the ultrasonic tanks. And bit by bit, entering into the ultrasonic category was becoming less expensive. Then, a few years ago, this thing called the Humminguru was released. This is a device that allows you to put the record in its tiny little ultrasonic bath, and by pressing a couple of buttons, it rotates the record and ultrasonically cleans it. When it's done, it drains the water from the reservoir and dries the record off, all at the touch of a button. And this device was about $400. Soon afterwards, the Humminguru had more than a couple of people making videos about them and telling you how great they thought they were doing for their records. And about a year ago, I bought one because with the amount of money that I spend on records, it really does pay to invest in a proper record cleaner. I clean all of my records, even the brand new ones, because record pressing facilities are not clean rooms. There's dust and dirt everywhere. So even though that record has just come off the press, you still need to clean it before you put it in your system. And nowadays, you can buy a limited edition Mobile Fidelity one-step record or a UHQR and easily spend $150 or more on a single album's release, so that all of a sudden, $400 does not sound like an unreasonable amount of money to spend on a record cleaning device, especially one that was this easy to use. So I've watched these videos, as you probably have, and also done research about the fluids that people are using to put into these devices. People get crazy with their isopropyl alcohol and their Turgiclean and their PhotoFlow and all sorts of surfactants. There's even people that put lighter fluid on records. No, bad thing to do. But there's lots of really good simple record cleaning fluids out there that you can buy off of this shelf. Mobile Fidelity, Disc Doctor. There's even, here, I'll show you. The TM8 Super Record Cleaning Fluid. That's good stuff if you need a surfactant to get into the grooves of your records. But I digress. These fluids are out there if you look. So the way that I use the Humminguru Ultrasonic is as follows. I do a dry cleaning to get any large dirt or dry dust off of the record. Then I do a wet cleaning with the Disc Doctor brush to get any major dirt off the record. Then I place that record in the Humminguru and let it do the work. Now, why do I do all of that pre-cleaning? It's simple. When the Humminguru is done with its cycle and starts draining the water, you don't want large pieces of dirt to get caught in the reservoir. If you get that caught in the machine, you got to clean the machine out, and you don't want to have to do that all the time. Besides, the thing that the Humminguru and any other ultrasonic cleaner is good at is not getting large pieces of dirt off of your records. It's in the details. It's like a detailing machine. It's like when you go and you get your car detailed. You want all the little bits and pieces, nooks and crannies cleaned and beautified and made just as close to perfect as possible, considering all the circumstances. And that's what an ultrasonic cleaner does. It does to fine work. And if there's anything that you can't get out with a brush or a fluid, there's a very good chance that an ultrasonic bath is going to do the trick. And of course, I have to remind you that no cleaner, whether it be a brush, a vacuum, or an ultrasonic treatment, etc., nothing can get rid of an actual scratch on the record that goes down into the grooves. But there's an awful lot of clicks, pops, and ticks that you can usually get removed, and you'd be surprised at how good it is. So I'm going along, moving and grooving with my Humminguru, and I was contacted by the Vivor company, who asked me if I could do a review of their tank-based ultrasonic system, which allows you to clean up to 8 records at a time. Really? So, hey, I jumped at the chance to try this out, because it's been available for a while, and I'm curious. So they shipped it to me, and Vivor puts everything inside of one convenient kit. Everything you need to put this stuff together. Now, when you open up the box, there's lots of parts that you got to take out one by one. The big pieces and the small pieces. And as far as putting it together, it's going to take you a while. Make sure you take your time because everything goes together in a certain way. Now, the instructions they send with the unit are almost non-existent. There's a few photos on a piece of paper that are helpful, but I ended up having to watch other people's videos to see how they put theirs together. And once you do get it put together, it's still a pretty labor-intensive thing. It comes with these separators. So there's a spindle, and you put the record on there, and then you put a separator on it, which is basically these plexiglass sheets that are cut and drilled to a certain size. And when they're placed on the machine, they allow space between the records so that the liquid can get in between the records and the ultrasonics can do their job. They got these plastic liners that you got to peel off of them. But once you got everything taken care of and you assemble everything together, you can mount up to 8 records inside of the tank and get the records cleaned. Now, a lot of people are saying that you got to put these records in for 30 minutes at 30 degrees Celsius, which is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And even though it isn't specified in the instructions, the non-existent instructions that I told you about, that you get with the Vevor, folks are using their own special solutions that's made up of distilled water, alcohol, and then there's a surfactant. There's all sorts of homegrown things that people are putting together. And what I have found is that just good old-fashioned distilled water does a great job, especially when you pre-clean. Now, I can't stress the importance of pre-cleaning enough. It appears that Vivor's main way of promoting this product is giving these devices to YouTubers that are known to make videos about cleaning records in exchange for having them demonstrate it in a video. And a lot of these guys are taking records straight out of the old jackets with all sorts of dust and dirt and whatever record debris has been stuck to the records, slap them on that ultrasonic tank, and let it go. And when they're done, they take that camera, put it inside of that tank, and you see all this gunk down there. And they say, oh boy, look at all that gunk in the bottom. I really cleaned that record good. Well, as I've explained earlier in this video, the thing that the ultrasonic cleaner does best is the details. The detailing. Get the big chunks of dirt out yourself because that's the easy part. This way, you can let the ultrasonics do their work, what they do best. And 30 degrees Celsius is warm, but it's not hot enough to ruin your records. And there are some people that say, well, I only clean 1 record at a time because this thing does have the capability of cleaning 8 records at once, but they claim that when you have more than 1 record in the tank, the effect of the ultrasonic process is diminished because of all the space in between the records. Well, that ultrasonic stuff can't get in between all the records. Now, wait a minute here. Ultrasonic tanks are used for cleaning lots of intricate things like car parts, watch pieces, jewelry, and even medical instruments. I would bet money that your dentist uses an ultrasonic cleaner to clean those things that he picked your teeth with. So, now, I experimented with my wedding ring and also the bite splint that I use at night after I was done cleaning records, and you just dip that stuff in, dirt comes right off of it like there's smoke. The smoke is the dirt leaving the device. It's amazing. Now, what this does in its detailing process is it gets in the crevices, the nooks, the crannies, the tiny little spaces, because the transducers in the ultrasonic tank vibrate the water 40,000 times a second. It causes cavitation, which is little microscopic bubbles formed in the water that implode inside of the record groove and push the dirt out. And while 30 minutes will not necessarily hurt your record, I think it's a little bit of overkill. I put mine in for 15 minutes and had fantastic results, even with ridiculously dirty records. So basically, when I use the Vevor Ultrasonic Tank Cleaner, I pre-clean the records, put them on the rack, I fill up the tank with distilled water and nothing else in that distilled water, and I turn on the motor to rotate the records. Then I start the ultrasonic bath with the internal heater, raising the temperature up to 30 degrees Celsius. And once that water gets up to 30 degrees, I let it run for 15 additional minutes. That's all it needs. And then, when the records come out, they are as shiny and clean as they can possibly get. I mean, you might want to rinse them off with a little bit of distilled water if you are really that paranoid about a possibility that something may still be stuck to it. But you really won't have to. Personally, when I get done cleaning, I let it dry either with a vacuum-based record cleaner or I let it air dry. And then I put it inside of a new anti-static polyethylene sleeve. And in the upper right-hand corner with the Sharpie, I put a little letter U in there. So I know that that record has been ultrasonically cleaned. Now, big question. Which one of these should you get? The Humminguru at $400 or the Vivor at around $200, or maybe even less with the generous discount code that I've given you already? Check in the description. I love the fact that the Vivor can clean up to 8 records at once. And even if you want to do just one, you can. But it takes up a lot of space and there's a lot of physical labor involved in cleaning the records with it. A plus side is that it's very effective and the entire system is very inexpensive compared to how much some ultrasonic cleaning devices used to cost, and still do. The Humminguru is great because it's a set and forget device. Simplicity is the form here. You pour water in, you put the record in, you press the buttons, and a clean record comes out in about 10 minutes. Convenient? Yes, but you are paying $400. And if you buy their new upgraded unit, which is called the Humminguru Nova, you're going to be paying around $700 US. And who knows if the price is going to be going up or not in the coming years. It may, but I wouldn't be able to say when or how much or for sure. So when you pay for that convenience, you get it. But you can only clean one record at a time. So in a way, it's not as efficient as the Vivor that can clean up to 8 records at a time and potentially clean other objects as well. One avenue that I'm investigating is what is the best way to filter the water from the tank and reuse it? I'd love to be able to drain the water with the included drain and valve and the hose and filter it for reuse for the next batch of records the next time that I clean a bunch. By comparison, in the Humminguru, you have a small filter that's in the reservoir that allows you to reuse the water as it filters it every time you pour water in it. So you got to weigh all these variables against each other and come up with the way that's best for you. And I'm going to give it to you straight. These devices have taken records that were just plain unlistenable in the past and made them sound very good. And in some cases, you don't get the same results. There are some records that have pops and clicks that you just can't get out, no matter how great it looks. And yeah, the records look great. So a huge thank you to Vivor for providing me with this ultrasonic cleaner so that I can compare it with the Humminguru and show it to you. It's a good machine, and I'm probably going to use it a lot. Now, what do you think? Have you had the opportunity to check out one of these cleaners? Leave your comments below. I do read all of your comments, and when I have a comment or a question that does warrant a reply, I do write back. So, I want to thank you for watching this video. One other thing before I forget. While you have to purchase an optional adapter for the Humminguru to clean 10-inch and 45 records, if you futz around with the Vivor a little bit, you can clean 10-inch records and 7-inch records. I have done that with success. Very happy with it. So, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and tell your friends. That's it. Come back for the next video. I had a great time. I hope you did too. and have a great day. Now, go and listen to some music, preferably on some clean records. By the way, for those of you complaining about this turntable here, this turntable does not work. It's broken. Got it from a garage sale for free. But it spins, so I use this to do my pre-cleaning on my records. So no complaining about it, please.